Welcome to this edition of the SKNIS Week in Review, a roundup of the highlights of government-related activities and programs that have taken place over the past week. In this program, we focus on the period February 9th to the 15th. Coming up, National ICT Centre reopened, SCASPA Amendment Bill passed in Parliament, and Federation's High Commissioner presents her letters to Canadian Prime Minister. More details to these ahead. Thank you for joining. My name is Jacqueline Bryan. An air of excitement was present on Monday at the intersection where Wellington, Keon and Pond Roads meet in Bastille, St. Kitts. Members of the Cabinet, senior law enforcement officials, and a wide cross-section of residents and citizens gathered to witness Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris hit the switch that turned on automated traffic lights at 3 points in the capital city. Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Honorable Ian Patches-Liburd, said motorists and pedestrians will be much safer with the use of the signal lights.
We looked at the traffic flow in St. Kitts, and believe it or not, we have almost 30,000 vehicles in St. Kitts. 30,000. And more are coming, because every week the car carrier comes. And we are not into banning of vehicles, because we believe people first, in people first. And if you want to buy a vehicle, you have a choice. So we want to improve the traffic management. And this is what these traffic signals are going to do. Improve the traffic management and improve the safety on the roads. And we have also taken into consideration you, the pedestrians. It will be safe for you, or safer for you, to use the pedestrian crossings.
Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Honorable Ian Patches-Liburd. 23 officials from various agencies in both St. Kitts and in Nevis participated in a training workshop which was hosted by the Immigration Department at the Police Training Complex this past week. The purpose of the workshop was to ensure that government agencies have a common understanding of their roles in relation to the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, also referred to as the CSME in general, and the free movement of persons in particular. Participants represented the St. Kitts and Nevis Customs and Excise Department, Social Security, the Inland Revenue Department, the Accreditation Council, the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Council, the Labour Department, the Ministry of International Trade, and the Ministry of National Security. They got an overview of the CSME and discussed topics such as the role of the Immigration Department and its officers, facilitation of travel, free movement of skilled CARICOM nationals, right of establishment and provision of services, as well as customer service. The National Information and Communications Technology Centre, or the ICT Centre in St. Kitts, reopened this past week. The National ICT Centre first opened its doors in 2007 and is an initiative between the governments of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Republic of China on Taiwan. The Information and Technology Department, or IT Department, will be housed at the centre. The reopening also marked the start of the week-long celebrations for the Government of National Unity's 3rd year anniversary. Minister with responsibility for ICT, the Honorable Vincent Byron, described the reopening of the centre as being significant not just to the government, but also to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
This here is where we hope we have a base for our IT department, our ICT department, where all our technicians will now be hosted under one roof. If you need, in any good department, to be wired, that is to be connected, to have different rooms, talk to each other, then you do a local area network, a LAN. We have people here will come in and run those wires for you internally, who will come and deliver the hardware, whether it is going to be desktop computers, whether you have to impose servers. We have those people here. And also at this center, we have an e-government department that does app development.
Minister with responsibility for Information and Communications Technology, the Honorable Vincent Byron. A number of information and communication technology, or ICT personnel in St. Kitts and Nevis recently explored the use of Amazon Web Services through official training at the newly reopened National ICT Center. The training ran for 2 days and was facilitated by officials from Amazon Web Services, which is a subsidiary of Amazon.com that provides an on-demand cloud computing platform to individuals, companies, and governments on a paid subscription basis. ICT Senior Policy Advisor Pierre Bowring explained that the presence of Amazon Web Services in St. Kitts and Nevis meant a great deal for the Federation, as they were here to introduce the country formally to the use of cloud. The Ministry of Health in St. Kitts has put the fight against cancer and other non-communicable diseases, also referred to as NCDs, on the front burner of its agenda. At a World Cancer Day luncheon held this past week at Marshall's Restaurant, Minister of State with Responsibility for Health, the Honorable Wendy Phipps, said that NCDs were among the leading causes of death in the Federation each year. She added that steps are being taken to combat these diseases, with specific reference to cancer. The St. Christopher Air and Seaports Authority Amendment Bill 2018 was passed during the sitting of Parliament on Tuesday, February 13th. Minister with responsibility for the St. Christopher Air and Seaport Authority, also known as SKSPA, the Honorable Ian Patches-Liburd, presented the bill in the House of Assembly. He said the minor amendments to the short title and the interpretation of sections 1 and 2 were straightforward, but the amendments of sections 24, 75, 76, and 78 are substantive.
And what the amendment seeks to do, Mr. Speaker, is to replace that subsection 2A with the following new subsection. 2A, to borrow and reborrow monies pursuant to loan agreements, whether secured or otherwise, or by the issue and sale of debentures or debenture stock or other security, or promissory notes, or any combination thereof, for the purpose of raising funds of the authority for the effectual exercise by its powers conferred by this Act.
Minister with responsibility for the St. Christopher Air and Seaport Authority, also known as SKSPA, the Honorable Ian Patches-Liburd. A copy of the bill can be found on our website at sknis.kn under the section that reads Notices. The Sustainability of the Skills Training Empowerment Program, also known as STEP, which has some 2,300 interns enrolled, is being reviewed by officials and various stakeholders associated with the initiative. Financing for the training and work program is provided by the Sugar Industry Diversification Foundation, also known as the SIDF, but the director of the program, Wendell Watley, noted that the cost to the country is a significant one. On SKNIS's Working for You program, he said that it was especially important to consider future plans. He believes that one way to finance the program is through agriculture.
We believe that money can be made from agriculture. Presently, I've been informed that our poultry meat importation into St. Kitts is about 95%, and that's significant. The egg importation is less than that, but still there is a gap between what is required within the country and what we actually produce locally. And so there's an opportunity that may exist or should exist where we can utilize the STEP program to provide our young people with employment and also for themselves to be making money beyond just the 316.
That was Wendell Watley, Director of the Skills Training Empowerment Program, also referred to as STEP. On the 14th of February, the Federation's newly appointed High Commissioner to Canada, Her Excellency Sherry Truss, presented her letters of introduction to Canadian Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Justin Trudeau. During the Parliament Hill meeting, High Commissioner Truss extended greetings on behalf of the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Her Excellency informed Prime Minister Trudeau that both the Federation's Prime Minister and its Minister of Foreign Affairs regarded further strengthening the relationship with Canada as particularly important. Prime Minister Trudeau welcomed the commitment to closer cooperation, both at the bilateral, regional, and multilateral levels. And that concludes this week's edition of the Week in Review. I hope you enjoyed our program and be sure to join us next time. I was your presenter, Jacqueline Bryan.
Stay up to date with news, programs, and activities of the government with SKNIS. Like us on Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter. And watch our videos on YouTube. Connect with us today. SKNIS, St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service.